The sky cracked open, and they descended. Towering vessels of gleaming obsidian hovered silently above Earth's atmosphere, exuding an otherworldly power that demanded both fear and reverence. The world held its breath as a message was broadcast in every language simultaneously, a calm, melodic voice that promised opportunity, unity, and progress. It was an invitation to a universal competition, a gathering of the most advanced civilizations to determine the strongest, the wisest, and the most cunning. The challenge, however, carried a twist. Each species was to present their greatest monster, a manifestation of their darkest ingenuity or natural evolution, to prove their dominance in a battle unlike any other. The aliens called it a celebration of existence's mightiest creations. Humanity called it a gamble. Representatives of Earth stepped forward to accept. Their response was brief, almost too quiet amidst the grandeur of the announcement. "What you call monsters, we call lessons." To the aliens, the concept of humanity was fascinating yet perplexing. They were a collective known as the Axirian, a race that had transcended physical needs long ago. Their sleek, crystalline forms pulsed with light, each movement fluid and deliberate, as if they were more energy than flesh. Their society thrived on order and logic, priding themselves on curating the universal challenge as an expression of the cosmos' diversity. Each participant was judged on the monstrosity's ability to adapt, destroy, or endure, a testament to the civilization that birthed it. The Axirians saw themselves as impartial arbiters, unshakable in their superiority. Primitive species like humans were usually curiosities, their technology and biology laughably simplistic. In their eyes, humanity's monsters could be nothing more than crude beasts or misguided machines. They saw Earth as a pale blue dot, its inhabitants barely past infancy in their evolutionary journey. They anticipated amusement at best. Yet among themselves, quiet whispers of skepticism emerged. The challenge had seen many outcomes over eons, but every now and then, a species would bring something that defied expectations. However, as the Axirian prepared for the event, their confidence remained unshaken. Humanity, to them, was just another minor note in the grand symphony of existence. Earth's delegation was small but deliberate. 3 representatives were chosen, each embodying a crucial aspect of the human spirit. The scientist, a woman whose brilliance had unraveled the secrets of nanotechnology, symbolized humanity's relentless pursuit of knowledge. The soldier, a man forged by decades of conflict and tactical precision, represented resilience and strategic might. Finally, the storyteller, an older figure with the wisdom of countless histories and tragedies, carried the weight of humanity's collective memory. Behind their measured faces lay the scars of Earth's turbulent history. Wars that had razed cities, plagues that had decimated populations, and environmental collapses narrowly averted. Humanity had endured all of it, reshaping itself in the fires of adversity. These scars weren't weaknesses. They were the foundation of an unparalleled strength. When asked what humanity intended to bring to the challenge, the storyteller answered with a simple, haunting statement. "What we bring isn't a monster. It's us." The arena was an engineering marvel, a sprawling coliseum suspended in the void of space. Its walls shimmered with an iridescent sheen, pulsating as if alive. The Axirian took their positions as observers, their glowing forms casting ethereal light across the endless rows of alien delegates. Each species summoned its monstrosity into the arena, revealing creations so alien and terrifying that even the gathered elites flinched. A quadrupedal beast with venom dripping from its fangs towered over one corner, while a writhing mass of tentacles and eyes emitted a low hum that sent shivers down spines. Psionic creatures, bioweapons, and nightmarish hybrids filled the battlefield, each more horrifying than the last. Gasps echoed as the monstrosities flexed their power, each one a testament to the species that had crafted or birthed it. Then, humanity stepped forward. There were no monstrous creatures at their side, no hulking machines or abominations conjured from nightmares. Just 3 figures, unassuming in their plain attire, standing amidst the towering horrors. The arena fell silent for a moment, the Axirian delegates exchanging puzzled glances. The humans raised no weapons, conjured no beasts. They merely stood, their calmness unsettling in the face of chaos. The storyteller spoke first, his voice carrying across the arena with quiet resolve. You wanted monsters. We are here. The arena pulsed with life, a vast expanse of shimmering terrain that seemed to shift with every breath of its occupants. As the alien monstrosities emerged, the collective gasp from the audience rippled through the chamber. Towering above all was a bioengineered colossus, its muscles glistening with a translucent sheen, every sinew a testament to genetic perfection. Veins coursed with glowing fluid, and its roar sent a palpable tremor through the ground. Nearby, a writhing entity of psychic tendrils hovered, its forms shifting like liquid smoke. Each tendril probed the air, pulsing with a malevolent energy that seemed to whisper directly into the minds of the onlookers. A pack of sleek, predator-like creatures followed, their metallic hides shimmering as their spines extended into razor-sharp blades. They moved with predatory precision, their eyes scanning the arena with a terrifying intelligence. In another corner, a pulsating sphere of organic matter shifted and churned, birthing smaller entities that skittered across the ground in search of prey. The audience murmured in awe, their collective fear and admiration palpable. Each alien species had brought forth its best creation, and the spectacle was dazzling. Delegates from across the galaxy observed with a mix of pride and trepidation, their confidence tempered by the terrifying possibilities these creatures represented. The Axirian, perched above the arena in their radiant forms, watched impassively, their light flickering with subtle intrigue. Then, humanity stepped forward. The silence that followed was deafening. 3 figures stood alone, dwarfed by the monstrosities surrounding them. No beasts, no weapons, no towering forms of destruction. Just 3 humans. A ripple of confusion spread through the crowd. Laughter broke out, hesitant at first, then cascading into waves of mocking disbelief. The scientist stepped forward, holding a small, unassuming device in her hand. She activated it with a subtle gesture, releasing an invisible swarm of nanomachines into the air. They were imperceptible, their presence known only by the subtle shifts in light as they began to dismantle a nearby metallic predator. Piece by piece, the creature dissolved into dust, its terrifying form reduced to nothingness within moments. Gasps replaced laughter as the crowd realized the precision and lethality of the invisible threat. The soldier followed, his movements deliberate and calm. In his hand, a compact weapon glowed faintly. He fired a single pulse of energy toward the psychic entity, the projectile slicing through its protective field with surgical precision. The creature recoiled, its tendrils flailing wildly as the soldier moved with calculated efficiency, exploiting its every vulnerability. Where brute strength and fear ruled the arena, his tactics demonstrated control and mastery, an unsettling display of human ingenuity in warfare. Finally, the storyteller took center stage. He carried no device, wore no armor, yet the weight of his presence silenced the crowd. He began to speak, his voice measured and haunting. He recounted the darkest chapters of human history with a clarity that cut through the noise. Descriptions of genocides, nuclear annihilation, and centuries of conflict painted a grim picture of humanity's capacity for self-destruction. His words conjured vivid images, so powerful that the psychic monstrosity recoiled, unable to withstand the flood of human horrors. The laughter ceased entirely. The mocking turned to a cold, uneasy silence. The Axirian exchanged glances, their radiant forms dimming ever so slightly as they processed the human's display. The monstrous creations surrounding them were terrifying, but they were creations, bound by biology, technology, or psychic energy. Humanity, however, was showing something else, an understanding of destruction that went beyond the physical. The Axirian emissary's voice cut through the tension, a note of derision lingering in its tone as it addressed the humans. These are your monsters? Ghosts of history and invisible mechanisms? What do you think these will accomplish here? The scientist gestured to the now disassembled predator. Accomplish? What you see here isn't a tool of war, it's precision, the ability to dismantle even the most perfect creation down to its core. We don't need claws or teeth. We have knowledge. The soldier spoke next, his voice steady. And we don't rely on brute strength. We adapt. We find the weakness, the flaw. We don't just fight, we outthink. Finally, The storyteller raised his head, his voice carrying a gravity that resonated throughout the arena. You asked for monsters, but monsters aren't born from biology alone. They're shaped by choices, by history, by what a species endures. You wanted to see our worst. What you don't understand is this: our worst isn't in the creatures we create. It's in the depths we've survived. The aliens watched in stunned silence as the humans returned to their positions. The atmosphere grew heavier, the weight of their words hanging in the air. What had begun as ridicule had shifted to an uneasy respect, a dawning understanding that humanity's monsters were not bound by the constraints of flesh or machine. The arena began to transform. The shimmering terrain shifted, rising and falling to create obstacles and hazards. The creatures around them prepared for battle, their roars and movements filling the space with chaotic energy. The humans, by contrast, stood quietly, their resolve unshaken. As the battle commenced, chaos erupted. Monstrosities lunged at one another, the arena shaking under the force of their clashes. The humans remained still, observing, calculating, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. While the other participants relied on their beasts' primal instincts, humanity relied on something far more terrifying: their collective will to endure. The arena erupted into chaos as the monstrosities unleashed their fury. A six-limbed predator charged forward, its claws carving deep trenches into the shifting ground. Tendrils of psychic energy lashed through the air, shattering stone formations and sending shockwaves across the battlefield. Bioweapons discharged acidic bile that melted through obstacles, while mechanical horrors fired projectiles that exploded in devastating bursts. The arena, designed to withstand anything, groaned under the relentless assault. Amid this maelstrom, humanity remained composed. They didn't charge into the fray or respond with the same brute force. Instead, they moved deliberately, exploiting the pandemonium. The scientist gestured toward a nearby outcrop, where terrain could funnel enemies into a choke point. The soldier adjusted his position, his tactical eye scanning for weak spots in the chaos. The storyteller observed, his calm demeanor unnerving to the Axirian and other spectators. The first tactic was simple: let the monsters exhaust themselves. While the alien creatures tore into each other with unbridled aggression, humanity stayed out of direct confrontation, positioning themselves strategically. When the six-limbed predator lunged toward them, the soldier baited it into the acidic pool left by another beast, its body dissolving in a horrifying display. Each step was calculated, each action deliberate. The aliens watching grew uneasy. Humanity wasn't just surviving, they were directing the chaos. The scientist activated her device again, releasing another swarm of nanomachines. These invisible agents infiltrated the arena without a sound, targeting the strongest alien monstrosities. One by one, the creatures faltered. A towering biomechanical hybrid, its massive frame impervious to conventional weapons, suddenly froze mid-charge. Its metal components disintegrated, reduced to dust as the nanotech worked tirelessly to dismantle its structure. The swarm moved with precision, bypassing redundant systems and adapting to countermeasures. Even creatures with organic defenses were not spared. The nanomachines infiltrated through microscopic vulnerabilities, breaking down cells and rendering the beasts inert. The Axirian delegation leaned forward, their light dimming slightly as the realization struck them: these were not simple tools. They were extensions of the human intellect, capable of deconstructing anything they touched. Panic rippled through the alien audience. Their monstrosities, creations designed to embody their civilization's might, were falling apart with horrifying efficiency. Where other species relied on brute force or single-minded aggression, humanity wielded something far more terrifying: precision. The arena bore witness to the silent power of human ingenuity, a force that required no roar to instill fear. The psychic predator, a writhing mass of glowing tendrils, turned its focus toward the humans. It extended its reach, probing their minds with invasive telepathic energy. It sought to exploit their thoughts, unravel their confidence, and paralyze them with fear. But the soldier was ready. His weapon remained at his side as he stood resolute, his mental barriers fortified by decades of discipline. He allowed the predator to focus entirely on him, drawing it closer. The alien monstrosity recoiled in confusion as its tendrils encountered not fear but determination, an unwavering resolve that it couldn't penetrate. In that moment of hesitation, the soldier struck. A single, precise shot from his energy weapon severed the creature's core tendril, disrupting its connection to the hive mind that guided it. The predator flailed helplessly, its psychic influence shattered. It wasn't brute strength or overwhelming firepower that ended the threat. It was humanity's ability to adapt and counter even the most alien of threats. The audience, once so sure of humanity's inferiority, now watched in stunned silence. The humans weren't merely surviving, they were demonstrating something more profound. Every action was a lesson in adaptation, every moment a showcase of resilience. The storyteller stepped forward, his presence commanding attention even amidst the chaos. He began to speak, his voice carrying a weight that silenced the battlefield. His words painted vivid pictures of humanity's past, recounting horrors so profound that even the psychic predator, weakened and flailing, recoiled further. He spoke of wars that spanned continents, of weapons so devastating they turned cities to ash. He described the scars left by humanity's unrelenting march through history, the genocides, the famines, the catastrophes of their own making. His words were not just stories, they were truths that struck at the very core of the alien minds. The Axirian, creatures of logic and order, faltered. They had sought monsters born of physical terror, but what they faced now was far more unsettling. Humanity's greatest monsters weren't beasts. They were the echoes of their own actions, the legacy of their survival through chaos. The arena seemed to hold its breath as the storyteller continued. He spoke of resilience, of humanity's ability to endure even when faced with insurmountable odds. He described how, time and again, humans had faced extinction, not from alien threats, but from themselves, and had emerged stronger. The psychic creatures writhed in agony, unable to withstand the weight of the imagery. The audience, too, seemed shaken. What humanity brought to the challenge wasn't something that could be fought or destroyed. It was a reflection of the darkness all species feared within themselves. As the last echoes of the storyteller's voice faded, the arena stood still. The humans remained unyielding, their collective strength now undeniable. Where other species had brought weapons and beasts, humanity had shown the one thing no other could, the strength to survive and adapt, even in the face of their own monstrosity. The battle had reached its peak, a cacophony of destruction echoing across the arena. The once pristine structure, a marvel of Axirian engineering, began to falter under the relentless strain. Walls shimmered erratically, their energy fields destabilizing. The ground buckled and cracked, swallowing entire segments of combatants. Alien monstrosities, still locked in primal conflict, roared in confusion as their footing crumbled. Acid pools spilled, psychic shockwaves ricocheted unpredictably, and mechanical abominations malfunctioned amidst the chaos. While the alien factions scrambled in disarray, humanity moved with uncanny precision. The scientist, soldier, and storyteller fell into a rhythm, their unspoken understanding a stark contrast to the chaos around them. The scientist analyzed the terrain, predicting collapse points and guiding the team away from danger. The soldier scouted paths and provided cover, his sharp instincts steering them clear of rampaging creatures. The storyteller coordinated their movements, ensuring their actions were deliberate and unified. Nearby, two rival alien beasts turned on each other, their alliances dissolving in the face of self-preservation. Even intelligent factions, once confident in their monstrosity's superiority, now bickered and faltered. Humanity's cohesion stood out starkly against this backdrop, their ability to adapt and work together a lifeline in an arena tearing itself apart. From the Axirians' vantage point, this shift was undeniable. Earlier in the competition, their crystalline forms had flickered with amusement at humanity's presence. Flashbacks of their dismissive comments surfaced, a kaleidoscope of scornful laughter and incredulous remarks. Asterisk. They've brought no monsters, just themselves. What a pitiful display. Asterisk. Now, that arrogance had dissolved into quiet unease. The same beings who mocked humanity's primitiveness now whispered in disbelief at their ingenuity. The Axirian observed how humans exploited the environment, turning hazards into tools and chaos into opportunity. The fear in their collective consciousness grew as they watched the aliens' prized creations falter before humanity's relentless will. A moment of reckoning arrived as a psychic monstrosity, one of the most formidable competitors, directed a devastating attack at the humans. A rippling wave of telepathic energy surged toward them, capable of obliterating minds. The soldier acted instantly, throwing himself into the path of the attack. The wave struck him, and he collapsed to his knees, agony etched into his face. Yet, even in his suffering, he refused to yield. His mind, tempered by years of discipline, absorbed the attack long enough for the others to find safety. His sacrifice bought precious seconds, and as the energy subsided, he fell motionless. The arena seemed to hold its breath. The storyteller crouched beside the soldier, a flicker of grief passing across his face. The scientist's expression hardened, her resolve unshaken. They pressed onward, their unity strengthened by the soldier's act of selflessness. His sacrifice became a rallying cry, a reminder of the lengths humanity would go to survive, not as individuals, but as a collective. The final moments of the battle unfolded with deliberate precision. Humanity did not rely on brute strength to defeat the last alien monstrosity. Instead, they employed strategy. The scientist activated her nanotech, sending it to weaken the creature's legs and render it immobile. The storyteller directed the attack, distracting the beast with carefully timed movements while the scientist's swarm worked undetected. The creature, sensing its vulnerability too late, let out a final, deafening roar before collapsing. The arena fell silent, the echoes of its death knell fading into the void. The humans stood amidst the wreckage, battered but unbroken. Their victory was not one of domination, but of perseverance. Around them, the remaining alien delegates stared in disbelief. The beings they had deemed weak, insignificant, had emerged as the undeniable victors. The Axirian emissary finally spoke, its melodic voice tinged with something it had never experienced before: reverence. "You have shown us what true strength looks like. Not in monsters, but in the spirit that endures." Humanity, united even in the face of despair, had turned their darkest moments into their greatest triumph. The arena stood in ruins, its once majestic structure now a battlefield littered with the remnants of shattered monstrosities and scorched terrain. The humans stood at its center, battered but resolute, their triumph a stark contrast to the carnage around them. The alien delegates, their radiance dimmed and their confidence shattered, stared in stunned silence. The storyteller stepped forward, his gaze sweeping across the assembled crowd. His voice, calm and steady, carried a weight that silenced even the faint murmurs of disbelief. "You wanted monsters," he said, each word cutting through the air like a blade. "We don't need monsters. We are the monsters." The statement hung in the air, chilling and undeniable. The alien delegates shifted uneasily, their earlier scorn replaced by an uneasy respect. The Axirian emissary, its glowing form dimmed with what could only be described as apprehension, observed the humans in silence. It was a moment of reckoning, a confrontation with a truth they had not anticipated. Among the alien leaders, whispered discussions began to ripple. The proud Seraph, their once boisterous demeanor now subdued, muttered among themselves. "They turned the tide of chaos into victory." One hissed, its voice tinged with disbelief. "If they can do this here, what could they do in war?" Another alien, a crystalline being with a voice like wind chimes, added. "They wield destruction with precision. Not instinct but intent. This is beyond what we imagined." The Axirian delegation exchanged silent glances, their light flickering in a pattern of debate. Approaching humanity now seemed fraught with peril. Would they be allies or the architects of ruin? Their earlier disdain had morphed into a grudging acknowledgement of humanity's dual nature, both destroyer and survivor. While the aliens grappled with their shifting perspectives, the humans gathered amidst the wreckage. The scientist adjusted her device, her expression distant. "It wasn't about proving we're stronger," she said softly. "It was about showing them who we are." The storyteller nodded, his eyes scanning the desolation. "And what we can be. They see the monster now, but do they see the hope?" The soldier's absence was a silent weight on their shoulders, his sacrifice a stark reminder of the cost of survival. Yet, amidst the somber atmosphere, there was a quiet pride. They had faced not just the creatures in the arena but the collective doubts of an entire galaxy, and they had emerged victorious. In the final moments, as the humans prepared to depart, the Axirian emissary descended from its perch. Its radiant form flickered as it addressed them, its voice tinged with a rare reverence. "You have shown us something we cannot unsee. Your strength lies not in beasts or machines, but in the will to endure, to adapt, and to overcome. We will remember this." The humans offered no reply, their silence more powerful than words. Together they walked away from the arena, leaving behind the shattered illusions of superiority the galaxy had held. As they passed through the final threshold, the storyteller paused, glancing back at the hushed crowd. His voice, though quiet, carried a resonance that would echo long after they had gone. "They wanted monsters. We showed them what monsters truly look like." And with that, humanity departed, their legacy etched into the hearts and minds of all who bore witness.